The first Fortnite Live event of Chapter 3 is incredibly close. Season 2 has just surpassed 70% in terms of its completion, and we expect this to be happening the live event on the very last day, being June 3rd, directly going into downtime for Season 3. Because of this, in today's video, with the leaks pouring out across social media pointing toward what's going to be upcoming or finalising and ending off this season, we've got so much to discuss for this live event and the ending of Season 2, ranging from not only the Doomsday Device 2.0, Midas returning, and even the Paradigm. And that's not all, so trust me, stick around until the end of today's video. You won't want to miss a thing, and your mind is about to be completely blown in terms of the storyline. And whilst you sat back relaxing, perhaps with your favourite snacks, one favour you can do for me right now, considering it's 100% free to do and takes 2 seconds, is enter code FM1 inside the Fortnite item shop. You guys already know this not only puts a giant smile on my face, but cheers up my pug Gus too, who's been kinda sad about the fact he knows that 70% of all eyes watching right now are not subscribed. With that said, hit the big red button right now as we're on our final push to 2.5 million or 2.5 million subscribers, and after all, it only benefits you as I do give different subscribers every single day. So if you ever want to receive something, simply make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on, and then comment your Epic Games ID down below and let me know what you'd like to receive, so perhaps you could be gifted like this on screen in front of hundreds of thousands of eyes to see in the next video. But with all that said, now enough time has been wasted, let's dive into everything that's going to be happening in this Fortnite Live event.
Don't go anywhere. I'm not, I'm sitting on my back. Don't go anywhere.
So before we jump into our first of 4 points about what's going to be happening in the live event or leading up to it now, or inevitably what it's going to be, just to give a brief backstory, of course, for those that haven't been paying attention this season, the Imagined Order are at war with the Seven, if that really wasn't obvious, and with the Seven slowly taking back command of the island, or most of its areas anyways, as they've pushed back the Imagined Order all the way to Loot Lake and Command Cavern, with this location takeover process eliminating the blimps out of the sky, crashing them round the island or onto it, and despite the blue and red rings representing the control of either faction also clearly displaying this, what we can follow the storyline with or potentially be involved within it is through the resistance quests that were recently implemented. And as you can see right now, despite this challenge displaying nothing special in its description of what we need to fulfill, there is something after this in-game that requires us to do something drastic in terms of revealing even more secrets about what's going to be happening in this season's live event, the first one of Chapter 3. As the sun is rising now and we hop into game to complete this challenge and reveal the plans for the Imagined Order, as their backs are going to be against the wall in the 20.40 update happening on May 17th. And the reason I say that is because you thought the circle was small for the Imagined Order being red right now, with the Seven literally surrounding them. Well, it's about to go shorter to this stage. And despite Command Cavern being the base of operations for the Imagined Order, also with them having control over what seems meaningless Loot Lake, let's just reveal now, from completing this specific quest, how important Loot Lake is going to be. The relevance of this little backpack right here that you can see that I've zoomed into, for those that don't know, now I've equipped it, which actually is a temporary back bling in game if you're not caught up with your quests and stuff like that, because I know some people leave them till last minute. It's going to allow us to see energy fluctuation once this task has been revealed each individual game. You need to do these tasks in the same game, obviously, and as you can see, this energy fluctuation is around Loot Lake, so we're gonna try and get through Tilted without being eliminated by the IO guards and the waves of them. Fun fact too, in 20.40, before the live event itself or the last update of this season, wait, what happened there? That blimp right there will also be crashing into where we're going now, Loot Lake, which will look like this early that data miners managed to find. Honestly, if you haven't completed the resistance quest yet, it's a really good way of following the storyline, like on a personal level. If you listen to all the voice recordings, it'll give you an individual understanding of what's going on this season and the progress that's actually being made in this war wage between the Imagined Order and the Seven. And speaking of those voice recordings, something that stood out most to me was the most recent weeks anyways, I believe weeks 7 and 8, or even week 6. And ever since these voice lines were revealed and the words Doomsday Device, for those that haven't been playing like literally a whole chapter just yet, in Chapter 2 Season 2, Midas constructed the Doomsday Device that was obviously underneath the agency, and as we found the energy fluctuations right now, the waves that are actually being shown here, for those that don't know, which were in Midas's lair shown coming off the Doomsday Device in Chapter 2 Season 2's Battle Pass menu, are exactly the same, which obviously match up with some sort of Doomsday Device or kind of device in itself coming out from underneath Loot Lake or being constructed below it. As these quests are ultimately the Seven's spine on the Imagined Order, I imagine, no pun intended for the Imagined skin, that in week 9, 10 and 11 this will further confirm the plans of the Imagined Order and perhaps even reveal us to more things to do with this constructed IO Doomsday Device. As for now though, we can scan the energy fluctuation, which we know to be, well, of the IO Doomsday Device, and as you can see right now, there's no more quests for me to complete at the time of me recording and you watching. What's more interesting in terms of the Doomsday Device, however, that we're yet to be revealed to, revamped by the Imagined Order, is the fact, going into our second point, that they were opposing the one that Midas constructed way back in Chapter 2 Season Season 2, and despite the IO maybe perhaps spying on Midas to see how the Doomsday Device was made, thus then being able to create their own, believe it or not, a more plausible theory could be that they've actually teamed up with Midas, who is not dead, which was confirmed a while ago by Donald Mustard in this random Twitter video where he said the following:
Midas is great. And not dead.
The reason he confirmed that was because, well, in the Chapter 2 Season 3 trailer, after the events of the original Device event in itself, the Doomsday Device that actually occurred, making the map flood for Chapter 2 on the other side that's currently underwater of our island right now, Midas in the Chapter 2 Season 3 trailer anyways got eaten by a shark, and then came back from the dead as an undead kind of shadow version of himself in Chapter 2 Season 4 for Fortnite, which was titled Midas's Revenge, and since then, despite us receiving different variants of him in several packs or even the new surveys, obviously showing an early concept form of what's yet to be upcoming as a style for him, and before Donald Mustard obviously mentioned that he's not dead in this video, we had no idea as to whether he was truly dead or alive. Sure, we had side story lore on him, or his backstory anyways, of how he recruited the first Shadows as his most trusted and talented agents, which for those that don't know were all three of these crew pack skins, I believe Burning Wolf, this kind of Chaos Agent looking one, and Sierra, and believe it or not, this is an exclusive trailer that Fortnite actually deleted from their YouTube channel, so very few have seen this, with it being unclear as to whose side Midas is on in terms of what happens to the fate of the Fortnite island. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me now if he's teamed up with the Imagined Order behind the scenes to construct these IO Doomsday Devices, from Sloan reaching out as a desperate cry for help. Who knows, maybe we get another Season 3 of a flooded map, considering this is ultimately what the Device Live event caused, and with it being confirmed a Doomsday Device of sorts is going to be involved in it now, something else that's also confirmed, or kind of teased to us should I say, is a betrayal within the Seven. This was teased in one of the most recent Resistance quests, kind of voice lines, or even what we have to do as a task from going into the Imagined Order Command Cavern headquarters and hacking this computer system, which then caused Jones to say there's no information about the sisters on there and that this would have almost been impossible to erase. Again, from following these voice lines with the sisters being so keen to team up with Paradigm, who's also had her information wiped off of the IO servers, it really wouldn't surprise me in the coming weeks, considering there is a feud within the Seven itself, as the Paradigm is not liked by many of the members, including the Origin especially, who doesn't trust her, as supposedly they were trapped in the same prison by the Imagined Order and there was no way out, but somehow the Paradigm managed to escape. Maybe with this divide being created in this faction, these three girl characters, the Order, the Imagined and the Paradigm, once she returns, actually betray the Seven and side with the Imagined Order. This would literally make the Seven then, well, the Four, as the only characters that would be left in it would be the Visitor, the Scientist, the Origin and also the Foundation. And with that being a plausible theory, something else that also could make sense to be happening in terms of a last desperate cry out for help from Dr. Sloan actually getting some more allies to, well, try and win this war. I'm sure you've seen as of recently how big the Fortnite and Star Wars collaboration has been by not only adding the brand new May the 4th quests, obviously for Star Wars Day itself, but adding lightsabers back and these blasters, alongside not only teasing an Obi-Wan Kenobi skin and revealing this to be, well, our first look at the hand of it in this article, with there also being this returned prop in the sky from our previous Star Wars event in Chapter 2 being, well, the Star Destroyer, as it's been confirmed now that we're going to be seeing Darth Vader as a skin in the next Battle Pass, perhaps our integration skin itself that we unlock halfway through the season, thanks to these monitors on an Unreal Engine broadcast actually revealing that this would be the case with this Vader folder right here, and also an Indiana Jones collaboration will be coming, thanks to the fact it says Jones, not meaning Jones from Fortnite, but Indiana Jones. Maybe it's not entirely possible now that in these final days of the fight, as they've been pushed back so far, that Dr. Sloan doesn't send a distress signal to anybody who's perhaps listening, and then Darth Vader from the Star Wars universe or franchise actually turns up on the side of the Imagined Order with all of his allies. Of course, that's the thing that's been depicted or shown as a concept in today's thumbnail, and honestly I really like this idea as it could transition very cleanly into this Star Wars collaboration next season. I'm not saying it's going to be entirely a Star Wars collab like we saw the Season 4 Battle Pass of Chapter 2 being Marvel, but if this isn't to be, we're still definitely going to be seeing Darth Vader next season appearing as an outfit somehow. Make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications on right now so that you don't miss any of that intel as soon as those videos are uploaded, and speaking of this video, leave a like in it down below if you enjoyed or want to keep referring back to it. Speaking of other videos, however, make sure to interact with the next one that's actually recommended for you on screen right now, but most importantly, hopefully I can catch you in the very next video I do post on the channel.